Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. In this episode, I'm going to talk about different ways to cook food and boil water in the event of losing power for any number of reasons, from a drunk running into a power pole up the block to all out crap hits the fan. Stay tuned. One of the cheapest solutions to cook food and everything is just to buy a grill. Now, most of us probably have some sort of big grill already outside that uses propane, and that's really good. If you don't and you just want to get a cheap grill, you could buy one of these compact ones. This is Uniflame. It's like a cheap $35 Walmart thing, and you know, this is very, very cheap. Don't expect this to last more than a year or two, but it's compact. You can fold it up. You can bring it along with you if you have to bug out. It's not very heavy. So there's a possible solution, but don't expect this to last very long. And it uses those small propane things, so the downside is you have to stock up on those little green propane bottles. But you could also buy an adapter and use the larger ones if you'd like. Now we also have this, which is a slightly better option. This is a Coleman Stove, and it's much more compact, much better made, and I'm not going to open this entirely up, but the big advantage to this particular one is you have a grill area, and you also have a burner right here. And again, this uses propane. It uses the green propane right on here. I don't recommend that you get ones that use charcoal, and the reason why is that's a whole bunch of charcoal and it's a one-time use, whereas you could, that little bottle of propane, you could probably cook a number of meals with the one bottle, and you also have the big ones. You have to decide on what fuel you're going to use and then stock up on it. There's also the dual fuel stoves, where you could either use gas or the Coleman fuel. But again, to me, my personal preference is the propane bottles are easy to store, and that's what I decided is my standard fuel. Now these are all good as long as you could go outside. But let's say you live in an apartment, or you don't want to cook where you're going to be seen outside, because let's say it's a long-term crap hits the fan, and you're cooking out there, you're going to attract a lot of folks that you might not want to feed your whole neighborhood. You don't have enough food, or again, you're in an apartment and you just have to cook inside. There's not too many solutions for that. Now you could take one of these grills, and if you have a fireplace, you could probably put it in there and make sure you got good ventilation and don't asphyxiate yourself. But there are some other solutions. So you're in an apartment and you have to cook inside, and these chaffing things, or what mostly they're known as Sternos, you can cook with these inside. As a matter of fact, if you're to some sort of event that's catered, usually the big dishes of food are kept warm with these indoors. So this is a good solution for inside. It's not a perfect solution, but it's a good solution. You get 2 cans for about $5. Both cans total will probably last you about 4.5 hours. So you get an hour and a quarter with each can for cooking. It's a very clean blue flame. I believe it's like just alcohol in here, a gelled alcohol. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Now, you can make your own stove. You could make a little ring with holes in it to raise whatever you want to cook an inch. You just use your imagination, and you could just use that, or you could set some bricks on each side of this, slightly raised up over the top, and then put the pan or whatever and use that as a cooking surface. You don't have to get a stove, but I went ahead and got one of these just so I can check it out with you guys. And this is a foldy type stove. We'll go ahead and take a look here. And this, I believe, is like $5-10 bucks. These things are relatively inexpensive. There's different types out there, but this one is made specifically for Sterno. And without reading the instructions, let me see if I can figure out how this works. Okay, there we go. There's some grooves in here. You just sort of put these bars into the tab like that. And then you could take your sterno, use the cutters to open this up. There we go. And then what you do is you place the can in here, just like that. And we'll go ahead and take the top off, close this up, and then you're just going to go ahead and light it, and you got a stove. And then you can put everything from a small. Now, here's another thing to remember. If all you have is plastic containers with water and everything, you're kind of screwed. That's if you're on the move. So make sure you have a metal cup if you're out there, you know, outside in a survival situation. You want to make sure you have some sort of metal container that you could cook on, whether it be on a fire or if you bring along one of these. So a lot of these plastic canteens, you could buy these metal cups just like that. These usually cost about $5-10 bucks. This costs $5-10 bucks. Here's a nice kit made by Stanley. This costs like 10 bucks. Open it up, and it comes with a couple of plastic cups, and then you have this metal container that you could cook in. Now, if you're one of the preppers or something like that, you can have like a whole bunch of beanie weenies in a can is good. You know, bring out your canned goods and you can go ahead and warm it up. Now this is the thing I'm going to show you though. Now on this Sterno thing they talk about cooking, all kinds of cooking, but these Sternos really don't get extremely hot. They're more for warming, not really for getting a lot of heat. And we'll go ahead and check and see how long it takes to, let's say, boil a cup of water. Because I'm curious. Actually, let's do... I want to do about 2 cups of water, so that would be about 16 ounces. So I'm going to fill this up, 16 ounces, and we'll see how long it takes for this thing in this oven to boil 16 ounces of water, if it could even do that. So another thing you want to have if you're on the move, on the go, you got a bug out kit or something like that. If you maybe have more than one person, you might want a little kit with a bunch of these are almost disposable mess kits, you know, little pots and pans, so you could cook for a few people. But if you're alone by yourself, all you need is one kind of thing, maybe 2, that's it. And this thing here is like $5 also. Okay, again, this is great for indoors. This is the reason why I'm really bringing this up for those of you who live in apartments. No one ever does these videos for if you get stuck in an urban environment and you're in an apartment trying to survive. Most people want to do survival outside. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on something hard so I don't melt the vinyl here on my desk. Plus, as it raises it up so you have a better view. And then we'll go ahead and open up this Sterno can. It smells like alcohol. Looks purple. We'll go ahead and set this in here. Now we'll go ahead and light it. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so you can take a look here. Go ahead and get a light. Okay. I'm going to turn the light out. It's very hard to see the flame. Let's see if we can see it there. Not sure if you can see it. I can definitely feel it. It's a good amount of heat up there. So, go ahead and close this up. And we'll go ahead and get our 16 ounces of water. You can see that in there. I measured it. This This Stanley kit lets you measure out how much water, which is pretty cool. So, you know, this is great. Like if you have a cup of noodles and you do have some water, you know, this is a good situation here. I'm gonna put the cover on. When you're boiling the water, you want to keep that heat in there so it boils as quickly as possible. I'm gonna take a look at my watch. I got, you know, just about 5 after 4. I got 4:04 there. And we'll go ahead and put this on there. And when it boils, I will bring you all back and we'll see how long it took. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes and I could hear something going on. Let me go ahead and release you from the tripod. Fly you in here. Take a look. And you could hear some very slow boiling going on. Let's take a look, see. So you basically have like a slow boil here going on at about 15 minutes, which is you know, much better than I thought. I thought it would take about 20 minutes. So I'm very impressed. So this stove here is like $5.99, by the way. I should have looked it up. I had that price for you. But what it's doing is it blocks wind if you're outside to keep this from getting blown out. But again, I think it's Cyclist 01222. I'm sorry if I messed up your YouTube handle there. But he made a nice rig out of a metal drainer for a sink. So you could get this even closer directly on there. But if you don't feel like making something, you can get this. It's a little more versatile. You can put bigger pans, frying pans on here. Fry some Spam, you know? Let's see, what time is it now? Time 2:01. Let's take a look. Yep. So I think that's pretty good. So I have my cup here. Now I'm a coffee drinker, but I'm gonna go ahead and have some tea since I'm feeling under the weather today. The first thing I want to do is go ahead and blow this out. Whew. I still got my eyebrows. And we'll go ahead and pour some, see that steam? Go ahead and pour some water in there. Oops. I really like this. As you could see, it didn't sort of like drip and run down the end there. It poured very well in there. And I'll just go ahead and set this up here. I did go ahead and mark on top how many minutes I used of this can. So I have 20 minutes used. This way I know how much I have left. So let me see. If you get the Stanley set, which is what I'm using, there's that. I think I paid about between $10 and $15 for this kit, for this particular metal kit, which comes with these 2 plastic cups, really thick. So there you go. There's a solution for apartment dwellers that may be stuck in an urban situation during a crap hits the fan situation. But if you live in a house with a back deck or patio or whatever, you could always use a small grill or a portable grill of some sort. Now again, that uniflame that I showed you is a piece of garbage. The wing nuts sort of stripped out. About 3 of them as I was putting it together, so you might have to have some spare nuts to make sure that you can put that thing together. I don't recommend it. If you want a really, really good, compact, fold them up kind of propane grill, I recommend the Weber. I was just dreaming looking at that thing this past weekend. But that runs around $150 to $200. It's very expensive. But if you got a lot of money and you could afford it, I would recommend that Weber compact one. But it is heavier, so you have to move around and bug out, it's a lot of extra weight. So there you go. Basically this video is centering around this, the folding stove by Sterno and the Sterno cans. Great solution for cooking indoors. You can see I'm still live. This is safe to use inside. But you know, read it, double check. If you're in a very small, like little tent thing, when you have a flame going, you're using up oxygen, so you could still deplete your oxygen if you don't have any. If you're totally enclosed in a small space, I don't recommend using it in that situation. But in a big room or someplace with just a little crack of air, to make sure that you have enough oxygen, because I don't want to see you, my favorite viewers, subscribers, and friends, kill yourself doing this. But again, this is a survival situation thing. So thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I really appreciate all of my friends, users, subscribers, you, and have a great evening and a good weekend.